Good morning, beloveds. You can tell that the humidity is high because my hair is huge and my eyes are being a little weird, so let's hope I can get through the reading today. We have thunderstorms. So when I got up, you could hear a little thunder in the distance. Apparently we've got a 30% during the day, and then about 4 o'clock it rolls to 60 and the commute home could be messy. Now, I don't live very far from here, but yeah, from where I work, but yeah, one of my coworkers has about an hour drive, so we're just going to have to treat for her safety to get home. All right, it is March 15th, which is the Ides of March. And I just asked my partner a question. I said, so, is the Ides of March just bad because of Julius Caesar? And he says, yeah, but there's probably more to it. So we might look into the Ides of March. You might want to look into the Ides of March. I happen to be married to a history major. Like, that's his degree. He got a degree in history, and he loves history. I also love history, but I like the archaeology side of it. So, you know. All right. It is March 15th. Our title is Heaven's First Law. And our author is Clara A. Palmer. And the title is Heaven's First Law. It is a unity pamphlet from 1937. So, all right. Order is Heaven's first law. Order is the result of love and wisdom working together in perfect conjunction and harmony. It reveals the rulership of God. Let us then bless the weather with a thought of divine order, saying divine order is established in the atmospheric conditions, producing the kind of weather needed for the earth to bring forth its bountiful harvest. As the rich harvest appears, let us work consistently in the spirit of divine justice and order, so that the crops may be righteously shared and distributed, lest God be mocked by people's greed and infidelity. The perfect equalizing, adjusting power of the Holy Spirit is active in the atmosphere, in all parts of the world, in every phase of climate and weather. Peace, order, and harmony are now established. I did not pre-read that, so I find it kind of ironic that she decides to talk about the weather the same day I'm talking about the weather. I don't know. Sometimes when I read the unity stuff, I'm a little... that reminds me, I have to get it out of my... A few weeks back, we did a reading from Letters from Mildred. Well, a friend of mine gave me a copy of the Letters from Mildred last night. So, I'm going to investigate the Letters from Mildred. It's a very small book. I was expecting it to be bigger. So, I'm excited about that. Okay. So, order, I've said so like, I don't know how many times. I might need to take up being a seamstress, right? Order is heaven's first law. Order is the result of love and wisdom working together in perfect conjunction and harmony. Okay. And then we look around at the world and go, what? Okay. Order is heaven's first law. Yes. Yes and maybe. Yes and maybe. We're in... the reason I laughed is because we're in spring. And there is a chaos to spring. But it is an ordered chaos. There is a destruction to spring, but it is a harmonious destruction. They talk about seeds. For a seed to sprout, it has to crack open, which is destructive, right? And when things are just sprouting up everywhere, it's very chaotic. And yet there's a harmony in that. So when we say order, okay, order on the divine level looks a little different than order on the human level. And order is not conformity. Okay, so don't ever make that mistake that order is conformity. If you look at my digital life is very orderly and very organized, and conforms. My material life, not so much. My material life is a touch chaotic, but there's a creativity in that chaotic that is still, I hesitate to use the word orderly, but harmonious. Now, there's also a whole lot of madness in my material world, so I don't let me kid anybody that, you know, about my order, my material life. It's not. So, but I want to make that point that orderly is not conformity. You can look around the world, and there's a couple of countries out there where order is conformity, and that's not what we're talking about. All you have to do is look at springtime to see that God doesn't go for that kind of orderly, all right? But things happen in an orderly fashion. You plant the seed cracks open, it sprouts up, and then it grows, okay? The weather, she treated for, and honestly, we need the rain, you know? I want the rain. What I don't want is the thunderstorms and the wind that takes out power lines and trees. I do want the rain. Do I feel bad for the coworker who may have to drive home in it? Yes, because nobody enjoys driving in the rain. But that's part of the cycle. A few weeks ago we were talking about, he was using the eye of a hurricane as in one of the groups that I'm in. He was using the eye of a hurricane as a philosophical point. And I'm like, dude, have you ever been in a hurricane? You know, let's talk about hurricanes, because I've been in more hurricanes than I care to think about, you know, and I've never seen the eye of a hurricane. I've been on the clean side of a hurricane. I've been on the dirty side of a hurricane. I've been through really windy hurricanes, really, you know, wet hurricanes. I mean, Hurricane Harvey dropped enough rain on us in the period of time that it was here to drop our elevation. Now, it was like a centimeter, but still, you know. And yet there's an order to hurricanes. And they don't, so there's a pattern to hurricanes. So when you hear divine order, do not hear divine conformity, okay? Because God don't want no part of conformity, all right? That's why we were granted free will. That's why we were granted choice. Sometimes the only choice we have is how we feel about things. But once we know how we feel about things, then we will make better choices about what we're going to do about the situation. So, all right. Then there was another part of this that really tugged at me. As the rich harvest appears, let us work consistently in the spirit of divine justice and order, so that the crops may be righteously shared and distributed, lest God be mocked by humanity's greed and infidelity. One of the things that I've been hearing lately, and it really pulled me, is talking about using God's name in vain. Because growing up, we were told not to use God as a curse word. That's how you took God's name in vain. But lately, what they've been saying is that when we use God's name in vain when we do things in God's name that are harmful to our fellow living beings. And I'm only I'm not just the two legs here. That when we do things that are inhumane to other living things. And we do a lot of that. And I'm just like, and we do it in God's name. And I'm like, that. So, and here I get tongue-tied because it's such a big point. It's such a big point. There's enough to go around. And yet, but that's part of that divine order. Part of that divine order, part of that that harmony is making sure that the abundance is shared, that everybody has enough to eat, shelter, and safety. It would be wonderful if everybody in the world had time to pursue spiritual pursuits. And the truth is that they don't, because they're worried about where their next meal is coming from. They are worried about where their where their shelter is. They're worried about their safety. That is what religion should be about. Religion should be about making sure that people have the basics so that they can pursue their spiritual their spiritual insights. Telling people that it'll all be sorted in the next world isn't doing anybody any good. It isn't doing anybody any good. There's an author that I absolutely adore. His name is Terry Pratchett. He's been gone longer than I care to think about. And what he said was, was that exactly. I started to quote him. Telling people that it'll all be sorted out in the next world isn't doing anybody any good. Because if we stop telling them that, then they might sort it out now, And that's what religion should be about. Religion should be about making sure that everybody has the basics that they need, then they can pursue their spiritual life, because until you cover those basics, they can't pursue that spiritual life. You want people to come to your spiritual center. You want people to come to your church. You gotta be involved in some way, making sure that their basic needs are covered. At Creative Life, we were part of the Buddy Backpack program. We were part of making sure that school children had enough food to eat over the weekend. We also did food markets with the food event. Like, we walk our talk. We believe in this. And so we're always looking at opportunities of how we can support our neighbors. There's a group near us, and it's forgive me, Books on Wheels, I believe is the name of the organization. And what it sounds like and what it is so much more. And yes, what the organizer does is she collects books to give to children. But she also collects books to give to adults. She also organizes community events. She also does tax prep for people who need help doing tax prep for free. Everybody that works in the tax prep, they do this as volunteers. And I'm like, and this is an organization that we support. So that's order. You want to see order in this world? Make sure everybody has their basic needs met. I don't know why I'm up on my soapbox about this. I just am. And it's probably because elections are coming and I despise politicians because they talk a lot and don't actually do anything. But to some degree, I watch a lot of religious leaders do the same thing. Where I live, we do have a religious leader who every time weather gets interesting, he becomes a meme on the internet because of choices that he made during a natural disaster. When we've got a guy selling mattresses who does more charity work than the biggest church in our city, that's what religion should be. And that's, Clara L. Palmer lines it out. Heaven's first law is order. And order is the result of love and wisdom working together. Okay? In perfect conjunction and harmony. I do believe at the base of us everybody is good. But we've been sold a bill of sales that says that there's not enough to go around. And it's not true. And it's time we stopped believing that lie. So, the perfect equalizing, adjusting power of the Holy Spirit is active in the atmosphere, in all parts of the world, in every phase of climate, weather, peace, and order and harmony are now established. That right there, and you can substitute the words every phase of climate and weather, peace. I might say, I might do that in all parts of the world, in every phase of politics and government. Peace, order, and harmony are now established. That last phrase, you can tune that last phrase to anything you want that you think that there needs to be more order. And if we are doing order from the standpoint of love and wisdom and not from conformity, we'll get there. We are following heaven's first law. So, I commend to you that last couple of paragraphs, and then change the words as you need, as you see fit, that to make your treatments. Okay? The perfect equalizing, adjusting power of the Holy Spirit is active in the atmosphere. And I'm going to keep that one. In all parts of the world, in every phase of, insert your word, and insert your word, peace and order and harmony are now established. I can even say it about myself. That right there is a powerful, powerful statement. So I commend it to you. Thank you, Clara Palmer. The other mission that I'm going to give you is the same mission I gave you, is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Do not kid yourself. Self-care is a spiritual practice. You cannot pour from an empty cup. All right? So, practice on yourself. Okay? And then make sure that, and once you practice, when you practice on yourself, it makes it easier for everything you do to be loving, kind, and compassionate. And sometimes telling the truth is loving, kind, and compassionate, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. All right, beloveds. I'm going to remind you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. If you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. It is Friday. I get to go to the park tomorrow, provided it's not storming. If it's lightly raining, I still might go, but, we'll see. So just hopefully I'll have a fun squirrel or bird story for you. I'm going to remind you, I said email at creative. I did say if you want to know, see, now I don't even remember what I said a minute ago. Email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact. Yes, I said that. Okay. I commend to you to the YouTube channels. There's plenty of videos you can watch for hours and hours. And if you check out the playlist, you'll find what you're looking for. All right. What was I about to say? I don't know. I am, however, going to remind you to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a loving day, a kind day, a compassionate day, a Friday, a harmonious day, an orderly day, a wrap your week up day, enjoy the rain day, a dance in the rain day, a take care of yourself day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. A brilliant light, a divine spark, your spirit in motion, God in action, or, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you're a godling. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. after I go to the park. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.